Welcome to Linked Accelerator. This week we're going to talk about building your LinkedIn authority. So what makes you an authority? I'm sure we've all seen experts in the media who don't have as much knowledge as we do, or they don't have the experience we do, but they're considered an authority on this topic. And why is that? Some people think education is a key to becoming an authority. There's people with a master's degree or PhDs. They think they're automatically considered an authority, but it really isn't all the case. There's a lot of people with advanced degrees that aren't considered authorities. Is it experience? Now, I have over 35 years experience in the information world, but am I considered an authority? What makes people an authority? Is there like a magic number you come up to that if I'm in this industry for 20 years or 25 years, do I instantly become an authority? No, that's not the case. Education and experience alone won't make you an authority. It's just a fact. Publicity is giving someone a reason to talk about you. Really, you can have all this knowledge and experience, but if you're not sharing that with people and people don't know you have all this knowledge and experience, nobody will consider you an authority. So years ago, I worked for Cellular One, back when the cellular industry started up. This is a picture from 1995, but I actually started in 1989 at Cellular One when there was only 40 people in the company. And cell phones were literally this big. It was ridiculous. They were like bricks. They weighed a couple pounds. They were very expensive to use, and not many people had them because of the expense. And they just weren't convenient. But it was a great experience because I was at the beginning of a whole new industry. So I was the first network manager at Cellular One. I was like a kid in a candy store. I had unlimited budget to buy whatever technology I needed because the company was growing so fast and computer networking was just starting to evolve at that point. So we were always buying the latest and greatest networking equipment and upgrading our networks and expanding, and it was an unbelievable experience. So one of the vendors we bought networking equipment from is Xiplex. This was even before Cisco existed, or Cisco was just starting up. So we bought a lot of networking equipment from Xiplex because they were really a leading edge company at the time, and they just had the products at a really good price and they did everything we needed. So we became one of their top customers. As a result, they actually featured me in their annual report in 1992 because we were a leading edge company. I was a network manager of a really dynamic company, and we were one of their best customers. So they featured me in one of the articles. Here I am in 1992, the Golden Gate Bridge in the back. So it was really a big deal. They flew out a photography staff. We went around and did photo shoots all over San Francisco. And I got a lot of publicity from this interview and this article. So as a result of that, my name started getting out there more and more. People have heard of me and they knew I worked for Cellular One of the fastest growing companies. And I was really making a mark for myself in my career. As a result, I was interviewed by Priorities Magazine, which was a Stephen Covey publication at the time. It's a personal development magazine. And they were impressed how I could work with this growing company in high tech. I was in the leading edge of the company, of the industry, and I was also balancing my life. I really was into personal development, and I really, family was important to me. It still is. So I was balancing work and this fantastic career with my family. So they interviewed me about my experiences where I'd actually, because of stress, I had driven my company off of my family off of a cliff coming home from Lake Tahoe. I kind of dozed off at the wheel and drove off a 100-foot cliff on a Sunday afternoon, and we all survived. So at that point, I really changed my life, really got into personal development more. So they told my story in Priorities Magazine, which gave even more publicity. So today, I'm featured in the New York Times. As this publicity continues, it kind of steamrolls. This was, over many, many years, but today I'm actually interviewed in the New York Times in an article about LinkedIn and how to find a job. And the person found me on LinkedIn, the author of this article. So really now I'm becoming an authority. I'm a recognized authority. Back then it was for computer networking, and now it's for LinkedIn and social media and online marketing. So I became one of the most recognized network managers in Silicon Valley because of those articles and the feature in Zyplex annual report. I mean, not many people could say they were featured in an annual report, but I was. So I was getting quoted in newspapers, and I really became quite a network manager in Silicon Valley, which is the most competitive place for technology. So I was really making a name for myself. I became a recognized authority. So how do you become an authority? First step is really learn what's important in your industry and stay current. I mean, obviously things are changing faster than ever now, so you really have to keep up with what's going on in your industry and your company and with all the technology, and just everything changes literally by the minute. Back then, years ago, we used to come out with new computers when I worked for DEC, a computer company. But once every 4 or 5 years, we'd come out with a new product line. Where now, literally, the life of a laptop is less than 6 months before it's obsolete. So you really need to stay current within your industry and let people know. So as you're doing research to find out what's going on, notice the advertisements that are next to the articles you're reading online or in magazines. This helps you see the trends on what's going to happen next and new products that are coming out related to what your technology is, or your company, or your service and products. Next, you want to write articles and submit them to industry magazines. So I know most people don't think they're good writers. They hate to write. They dread the thought of trying to write an article. But I have to say, you have to do it. You have to write articles and create content if you want to become recognized as an authority. What good is it if you learn all this? You get advanced degrees, you get all this experience, you can invent things, and if you don't tell people and people don't find out, you're just going to be under the radar. So the next step is take this content that you're creating and blog regularly. Now I'm saying at least once a week you should write a blog post. As often as possible, write a blog post and get that content out there. Even if it's just a couple paragraphs, some thoughts, and brief information. Most people don't want to read long articles anymore. They want 500 to 700 words, little chunks of information, so you can spread it out over time. So next you take that blog post and literally you can read it into your phone and record it and create a podcast. It's that simple. So take the exact same content you wrote for your blog post, record it, and you've got a podcast. Next, you can use software like Camtasia and record a video just like this. It's a PowerPoint presentation. You can take that same blog content, create a presentation, and then you have a video that you can post on YouTube and other video sites. Next, you want to speak at industry and corporate events. Now, if you've never spoken in public, start small. Go to local networking groups or little industry groups. Start small, really hone your skills. Go to Toastmasters. Become really good at public speaking, because that is people. When you see someone speak that's really dynamic and they really have a good message, you instantly think they're an authority and you really respect them. So really start speaking as often as you can. Next, you want to send press releases to promote your speaking, writing, and your seminars that you do. So if you're going to speak at an event, it's really good to send out a press release. Let the press know. Now, the press releases became overused for a while because of search engine optimization, but nowadays Google has cracked down on that. So really, press releases are being sent out so the press reads them, which is the original intent. So let people know you're going to be speaking at events, or you just spoke at an event, and get the word out. Next, you can run your own seminar. Now, I started a group in San Francisco area, a meetup group, in 2008. It's called Bay Area Internet Marketers. We get together once a month and we share information. I usually give a presentation, tell them I teach people how to use WordPress. I taught search engine optimization, online marketing, just the latest trends online. So I really help people, small business owners, and teach them. And I learn as much from them as they learn from me. Actually, while I'm teaching, we get into really great discussions, interactive discussions, and I learn as much from them as they learn from me. So it's really fantastic. And eventually I'm going to get into bigger seminars and 200, 300, 400, maybe 1,000 people events. But I started small, honed my skills, and I'm growing into larger seminars now. Next, you can join national trade organizations and offer to write articles for the newsletter. So you're already creating the content for your blog and your podcast and your videos. So just start submitting that to these organizations. They're always looking for great content for the newsletters. And that's a great way to get your name out in front of a targeted audience. So give a seminar or get a booth at your industry trade show. Now, this is more on the high-end side. To do a seminar at a trade show is very expensive, but get that on your radar. Eventually, you want to get to that point where if you give a seminar at a huge trade show or get a booth, you're going to attract the right people, and you're going to make a lot of money from this. So it's a huge investment of time and money, but the payoff will be very significant. And always share your content on social media. Don't just put it on your blog. Put it on YouTube. Put it on podcasting sites. Share it on LinkedIn. Of course, you want to share it on Facebook. All these different sites. Get the message out there so more eyeballs can see it. So authority equals perception. Like I said, we run into so many people that they don't know any more than us. They know a lot less than us a lot of times. Some people have just a few years experience when you may have 20 years experience. So they're considered an authority because they're getting the word out there. People are perceiving that they are authorities and experts while you're in the background doing a great job and learning, and you know 100 times more than these people, but people don't perceive you as an expert because you're not out there getting in front of people. So the more content you share, the more people perceive you as an authority. So drip out that content regularly over time. Don't just do one blog post a month or every 6 months. Don't log into LinkedIn once a month. Don't go on Facebook once a month. Go on every day for a few minutes and just keep that content flowing. And you can automate a lot of this content through products like Hootsuite, where you can already keep sending out links to old blog posts that are still relevant. So you can automate a lot of this. And over time, people start perceiving you as an expert. So you don't have to create all the content that you share. That's one of the biggest problems too. People can't get over. They think, I've got to sit here and create content 40 hours a week. How am I going to do my job? You don't have to. I only create about 25% of the content that I share with people. And 75% of it is other people's content that I either repurpose or add my take to it and share it. So here's 10 ways to create and share content. This is a great one. Share breaking industry news. So as you come across news, share it quickly. Don't wait. If you share something, a news story from last week, who cares? It shows that you're not in touch with things. But if you're the first people to get the word out about breaking news, people say you're on top of it and you're current. So it's that perception thing. Oh, Ted's really on top of this because he's always releasing the latest breaking news. Be a curator, share interesting content with your audience. And this is a little different than breaking news. This is more just not time-sensitive articles. It's just interesting articles about your industry or trends or people's take on what's going to happen next year in their industry. So it's about sharing it shows that you're well-read and you're well-rounded, and you're sharing this information, which makes like this guy's an expert. He knows all this stuff and he's reading all this current news. So then you can create blog posts from questions you receive from your customers. This is a really easy thing to do because we all get lots of questions from our customers. So just write them down or type them up and then create a blog post, which turns into a podcast, which turns into a videos. So once a month, you can just sit down and within an hour create all this content just from questions people are asking, and you're already answering them. So just share with what you shared with people. Say thank you. This is an easy one. People are always saying thank you on the internet, on social media, giving shout outs to people who've helped them. A great thing is when you work with a new customer and when you complete the project, thank them publicly. Say thank you. I enjoyed working with you. Thanks a lot. A great thing to do is write a LinkedIn recommendation for these people after you've worked with them, because they'll be shocked. Very few people do that, but if you had a good time working with them, write that recommendation, say you enjoyed working with them, and talk about their expertise and why you enjoyed working with them. Another thing you can do is review new products and services that either your company is providing or your competitors even, or within your industry. It's really easy to say, these new products came out. You can compare 2 or 3 different products and say, I prefer product A over product B, and this is why. People really respect your opinion, and they consider you an expert when you provide this review. Share your thoughts. Now, this is one I'm not saying, when Twitter first started, people would say, I have a headache. I'm so hungover. They're sharing their thoughts, like their inner voice. I'm not saying that. Share your opinion on different things. Sometimes, people say don't ever comment on politics or religion, which I tend to stay away from too because there's such hot topics. But you can give your thoughts on what's going on in the world or what's going on in your industry. People want to know your perspective. It helps build that trust, and they get to know you. Another way is be a connector. So people on LinkedIn are always asking for introductions to other people. So be that connector. As you come across people, say, oh, Joe, I think you and Jill would really do a good project together, or you could work well together. She's looking for someone with your skills. So you introduce them publicly on LinkedIn or through Twitter or on Facebook. So be a connector. Help people out. Another thing you can do is promote your company. Press releases, blog posts. You can announce new products and services. When you win an award, you want to announce it, let people know. My LinkedIn book just won an award a couple weeks ago, so I've been sharing that with all my social networks. I wrote a press release. I'm really getting the word out there. And Entrepreneur Magazine is doing a big piece on it now because I won the award. You can also announce job openings. That's a great way to create content. It's easy to do. Also, share events you're hosting or attending. People love to know what you're up to. So next week I'm going to a big show with James Malinchak. So I'm letting people know I'm going to this big money speaker event where there'll be 1,000 people there in attendance, coaches, authors, and speakers. So I'm going to be networking with people that I can do business with. So I want to let people know I'm going to that event. Another thing you do is share offers and discounts. It's just an easy way to create content. So creating content isn't hard. Another thing is interview industry experts. Just nothing better than interviewing experts in the industry who are considered authorities. And then by that association of you interviewing that expert, people perceive that you're at that same level of expertise when maybe they are at the top of the game and you're still working your way up. Just that association, people perceive that you're at the same level with them and you're rolling in their circle. Last but not least, you got to have fun. If you're just writing blog posts to write blog posts, or you're just networking to say you networked and not having fun, people can sense that. They can feel that. So when you're having fun, people want to work with people that are having fun and enjoying themselves. People never like to work with really uptight people. So have fun and enjoy it. So how do we establish this authority on LinkedIn? It's really an easy transition. I'm going to show you lots of ways to get all this content that you're creating onto LinkedIn so it gets the most eyeballs on it as possible. Because that's the whole idea. Get as many people to see your content as possible. And, 90% will just gloss over it, but you're going to pick up some really great clients this way. So first of all, the obvious one is share updates on LinkedIn. Here's where you can put links to your blog posts. You can put links to videos you've created, links to your podcast, or anything, any articles you've written. And you can attach files by clicking the little paper click on the right side there. and it goes into your timeline, so your entire network will see this. And if other people start sharing it, their network will in turn see the content. So you really want to write a really provocative update. You don't want a really boring sentence. It's something like a headline from an ad where you want people to want to have to click on that to learn more about this. The whole objective of the status update is to get people to click on it to learn more about what you're writing about. A feature they added to LinkedIn a while ago, last year sometime, you can share content within your profile. They used to have apps that worked in the sidebar of LinkedIn where you could pull content into your sidebar, but now you can put it right into your summary or with each job description. So you can add a link or you can upload a file directly into your profile. So when you add a link, you can link to videos, images, documents, presentations, lots of content that's already out there on all your other sites, like your blog or your website or on a podcasting site. So here's a type of content you can share. There's images, videos, audio, presentations, documents. They used to let you tie in your WordPress blogs and TypePad blogs, so all the content would feed right into LinkedIn, but they've disabled that functionality for now. So hopefully they'll add that again, or at least let you post some articles or links in there, but they don't want to have a full feed where all of your content flows into LinkedIn, which makes sense. So here's image providers. So you can post content on all these sites, and I'll be honest, I haven't heard of most of these sites, but the fact that LinkedIn is acknowledging they exist, it means we should be posting content there. So you can create infographics or image banners or just pictures of your events. If you're doing live events, a big seminar or something, or a trade show, put those pictures on these sites, and then you can pull it into your LinkedIn profile. So it gives you lots of exposure on these sites and also on your LinkedIn profile. So it adds to your credibility. Look at all these video providers. This is crazy. Everybody thinks video, YouTube, that's all. But these are all sites where you can post video, or if you have video, you can pull in. So like CBS News or CNBC or CNN or, TED. You can pull in TED Talks if you're part of it. I really wouldn't recommend pulling in random videos that you're not closely associated with, either your company or you. But if you're on YouTube, pull your YouTube videos in, why not? Adds to your credibility. And then people perceive you're an expert. You can give TED type talks and film them and put them on YouTube, and people think, oh, this guy does TED Talks. Here's where you can post all your podcasts. Lots of different sites. Still, I haven't heard of most of these, but you can create your podcast, an MP3 file, that's all it is. And then you upload it to these sites, and then pick one. The most popular one usually is Spotify or Radio Reddit, and you can pull that right into your LinkedIn profile. So I could click on it and listen to a podcast from you right in my LinkedIn profile. Presentations and documents. So I've worked with Prezi, and Scribd used to be a really popular bookmarking site and place for content. It's not as popular as it used to be since a lot of the Google updates, but it still works really well. Slideshow is where you can upload content. It used to be just for PowerPoint, but now they do all different kinds of media. And LinkedIn actually bought Slideshow last year, so they make it really easy to integrate your content. And Slideshow gets a lot of traffic on itself, so you're getting a lot of exposure over there of business type people. And then they see that content on LinkedIn too, so it adds to your credibility and makes you more an authority figure. And then like if you have a Kickstarter campaign, you can pull that link in to your LinkedIn profile and show Kickstarter campaigns you've done. So it's just another way to add to your authority. Here's a list of file formats. The files have to be under 100 megabytes, so if you have long videos, you have to make them shorter, a couple minutes long. Most people don't want to watch really long videos anyway, unless they're on YouTube. You can do a short video and get people to go to watch the full-length video if you want. That's one trick you can do. But literally any kind of file format can be uploaded into your LinkedIn profile now. So here's Slideshow. If you haven't used it, I highly recommend signing up for the free account. You can get a pro account if you want, where you can get more analytics and branding, and actually can keep advertising off of your profile if you buy one of their pricing plans. But it's a great place to upload content and get lots of exposure. Radio Reddit, if you never heard of Reddit, it used to be a social bookmarking site where you could post content, bookmark your content, and whenever I put my blog posts up there and put the links, I get tons and tons of traffic from Reddit. Actually, the most traffic from any other site when I do blog posts. So Radio Reddit is where you can upload your media. So I highly recommend checking that out, and use Reddit too. Whenever you create a new blog post, you can go to Reddit, paste your link of your blog post in there, write a comment about it, and you'll get lots of exposure. Pulse. This used to be called LinkedIn Today, which was only called LinkedIn Today for a few months. But they bought this company, Pulse, which is a news aggregator. So it lets you create custom news feeds, kind of like the Yahoo start page does, and the Google page that they just discontinued. So you can create customized content. So you go to one page and you see little summaries of lots of different topics that you're interested in. So you can get really quick glances of information. And if you want to learn more about it, you click on it and read the full article. So I highly recommend going to Pulse and creating your own news feed. So what you can do is start by going to channels. So they've segregated the data into channels and publishers and influencers. So here, if I want to learn about accounting, I can follow that by just clicking on the plus sign. And by best advice was checked by default. I don't really see a lot from that, but there's just lots of followers. Follow someone that have really popular followers, and you can see that there's lots of conversations going on the articles that are coming through this channel. And here we look at this, and publishers, these are your traditional publications. So I get information about business news from CNBC, Wall Street Journal, Advertising Age. So I get lots of different bits of information, and it just goes into my news feed under Pulse, and it also goes into my stream, my LinkedIn stream. So it's a great way to see like the hot stories. You see breaking news here. So this is how you can become one of those people that comment on things right away and share breaking news with people. And a lot of these channels will get lots and lots of activity, comments, likes, and shares. So influencers, they invited a lot of these really big names to become influencers, and now there's lots of influencers that post a lot of content. Now you see this post, it's seen 348,000 people have seen this article since it was posted on December 3rd. Today is December 5th, so this has had quite a bit, 348,000 views in one day. And 2,026 people have liked it, and 1,000 people have shared it. So these are the conversations you want to get involved in, share them, comment on them, and like them, because it shows that you're on top of the current events. So you want to find articles like this about your industry and your products and services and participate in these conversations. And it makes you like an authority by association. You may not know these people, but by associating yourself with them, by commenting on their articles, and a lot of times when you comment and share other people's content, they'll reach out to you and say thank you for sharing when you do a lot of it. You also share information on your company page. I just created this literally yesterday. So I can start sharing updates here and share my content, which goes into Google search results, which is really a bonus benefit of company pages. So create your company page on LinkedIn and start sharing content. LinkedIn is really looking at the educational market. They're finding a lot of people using the alumni services, reconnecting with old college alumni and high school alumni. And now they're actually expanded it to prospective students. So if you're in high school looking to go to a college, you can click on this, you can sign up, and then go to these college pages where they're providing you lots of information about why you should go to that school, or what kind of people they're looking for. So take a look at this. It may not be for your niche right now, but there may be ways you can leverage it to find interns or jobs if you're trying to fill jobs, or reconnect with old classmates. Next step is groups. So when you look at the groups you belong to, a quick way to look for the ones that are active, it tells you right there. eMarketing Association has 158 ongoing discussions right now, where DEC alumni has none going on right now. So it's a quiet group. So don't waste your time in the quiet groups. Go to the active groups, jump into the conversations that already exist, start building relationships, and you'll start getting connected with a lot of those people in the group who are in your niche or could help you find new clients or just help each other out in some way. But join active discussions is a lot easier than trying to start up your own discussion. So here's a look at the eMarketing Association network. There's lots of activity going on. So I can start a new discussion or share something with the group. I could share a new blog post with that. Or I could share some content, a YouTube video, or look for conversations that have a lot of activity. A new feature they've added recently is the group level contribution. So it shows me how much I'm participating in this group. So my goal would be to get this green bar up a little higher and by participating more. I haven't participated in a few weeks, but it's really a good idea because this one has almost over 500,000 members. So your posts and conversations go a long way. All those people see your conversations. You can also ask a question. This is a new feature. You can do a poll, basically, and put up to 5 answer choices. And you can say what kind of discussion type, general, job, or promotion. So this is another new feature they've added. I haven't tried this yet, but it's a good way to get feedback from the group. Say, what are the top 3 things we're looking to do in 2014? And you can get their feedback from the eMarketing Association. Another thing that was interesting, this group used to be really, really good, great conversations. And as it grew, it started getting unfocused, and there's a lot of spam and self-promotion. So I started posting and saying, does anyone notice this group is becoming less efficient and there's nobody moderating it? It's becoming mostly spam. And then about 50 people jumped into the conversation within a day. Said, yeah, this used to be great. What happened to the moderators? So they changed the rules and now they're moderating it much better. So it's a big active group that's still could be moderated a little better, but it's much better than it used to be. And it's all because we just started contacting the moderators and talking about it publicly, saying we need this group to be moderated better. So consistency is the key to success. If you just do things once or twice a month, you're not going to get results. But if you do just 5 or 10 minutes a day, even, or 15 minutes a day, or 15 minutes every other day, you're going to see dramatic results in the number of people reviewing your LinkedIn profile and reaching out to connect to you, and you'll get more clients. Really, just consistency, consistency, consistency. And that's it. Thank you very much.